Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with another rebuild, and this time we're going to the bottom end of the Premier League as we take over Burnley. We'll be taking over from Vincent Kompany, of course. He's been struggling this season at Burnley, sitting 19th in the Premier League at the date of recording this right now on the 19th here. And I mean, right now they've not had a great start to the season. They're brought in some exciting players. They've got the right team, and like the way they're playing looks really good, but they just can't seem to get them points on the board. So we thought, let's take over from Vincent Kompany right now today in this video and do a 5-year rebuild of Burnley and see can we take Burnley back towards the European spots. Because, of course, Burnley have been in European football a couple of years ago. Back in the 2018-29 season, they made it into Europa League, of course. You see on screen now, they played like Aberdeen, Başakşehir here before we knocked out by Olympiacos back then, of course. So we're looking to rekindle that now with this Burnley side. Can we get them back into European football in just 5 seasons? Let's dive in and see how the team looks at the start of season number 1. So coming in day 1 on the job here at Burnley, I'm quite excited by a lot of players in this team. Jordan Bayer being one of the key ones, of course, he was on loan at Burnley last season whilst in the Championship. He's now joined on the permanent deal. He looks a really good option. He can play fullback and play in the middle as well in that CDM role as well. So a very versatile player, Jordan Bayer, 23 years of age as well. Not a bad option to have in this Burnley side. I mean, looking at the list as well, Zeki Udodami looks quite good. Brownhill's pretty decent. Colin's pretty good. Some really good players in there. But again, they haven't found the potential this season to really hit the ground running for this Burnley side. And of course, one of the big transfers of their summer was bringing Sander Bergen from Sheffield United, a relegation favourite right now this season. Both teams are right down there at the moment in 20th and 19th place. At the day of recording, of course, Sander Bergen made that switch from Sheffield United over to Burnley at the start of the season. He's looked all right so far this season, but it hasn't really worked out so far for Burnley. So hopefully, during the course of this rebuild, Sander Bergen can be pivotal to us in that midfield. And Sander Bergen will be a key element of this formation, of this tactic. We are using the Murphem's ultimate NK7-4-3-3 with those 2 advanced playmakers playing in that midfield as well. And with this right now, of course, it has 2 wingers on attack, an advanced forward, 2 APs of support, and an attacking option there. They've reduced it in behind them, ball playing defenders, 2 fullbacks on attack, and a sweeper keeper on support. If we go now and look at our best 11 in this side, oddly enough, it doesn't actually put Sander Bergen in the team at all. But we look at Sander Bergen's profile, it does say deep line playmaker and defend, but an advanced playmaker and support. He can do the role himself, so I will be locking him somewhere into this team. Because right now, he's saying Colin and Brownhill will start ahead of him. And for me, Sander Bergen, one of the better players in his team, he needs to be starting straight away. But of course, this tactic is available on our channel as well. So if you do want to try it out, and after you've watched this video and do quite enjoy it, it'll be pinned at the end of this video. But of course, if you do want to try it out now, feel free to head over there and download it and let us know in the comment section how you got on with it during your saves. But yeah, let's dive in then. Season number 1, let's simulate now through season number 1, see how we got on with this tactic with Burnley during season number 1. Alright, so we're back at the end of season number 1 with Burnley, and we'll touch up first on the Carabao Cup. We got knocked out in the 4th round, of course, by Manchester City. Man City went on all the way to go win the competition as well in the end, so not too bad really being knocked out by the potential winners of that competition. And then the FA Cup really didn't go to plan. We got knocked out by Luton in the 5th round, 2-0 defeat against Luton. Sorry, not against Burnley, we are Burnley. Losing 2-0 to Luton, so crashing out the FA Cup at only the 5th round. Not a great performance from the boys, but in terms of the Premier League, that was our main focus for this first season. And in the Premier League, we came 12th this season. If we dive in now, you can see the full schedule now on screen. We came 12th place, of course. You can see now in 38 games, winning 12, drawing 11, losing 15 all season. So not great, really. We didn't win as many games as I'd like to have hoped, really, but again, we survived this first season with Sheffield United, Bournemouth and Crystal Palace all going down in season number 1. Zeki Amdouni, though, was one of the key players of this season for us. He had an absolute field day, getting 13 goals in 36 appearances, 17 all competitions out of 42 matches. A great acquisition coming in from Basel, of course, last season for 3.6 million. His first season in the Prem, not bad, bagging at 13 goals for Burnley during this season. The likes of Manuel Benson had a pretty good season as well, getting 10 goals this season as well. In terms of the assists as well, the biggest high ones here, Sander Berge getting 5 assists, and again 2 goals though in 40 appearances. So not a great first season for Sander Berge at the club, but hopefully now we can add some reinforcements to try and make him and this team look much better. But he's already wanted though by Al Nassr over in Saudi Arabia, so it'll be interesting to see if we can keep hold of Sander Berge's come the end of this season. And speaking of the finances, we've only been given 10 million for the new season, so not a lot of money we've been given so far at the start of the new season. So we'll see how that stretches out for us going into the summer transfer window, of course, and ahead of season number 2. So let's dive ahead now to the start of that new season and see what we've managed to do transfer wise here at Burnley. So we're back ahead of the new season starting. There's been some promising signs during pre-season, including beating FM24 3-1 in a pre-season friendly league. Season spoiled on screen now, who we've actually bought in. We'll dive into those transfers in a little short moment. But yeah, a 3-1 victory ends by FM24, not a bad pre-season start for the Burnley side. Of course, season number 2, I want to push on now and get a top half finish in this new season. So let's touch up then on these transfers, what has been happening transfer-wise here at Burnley. The end of last season, we got 3 players in straight away. You can see them all on screen right now. So we bought in Mads Pedersen, formerly of Augsburg, 3.4 million. Not a bad acquisition, really. Didn't really play much last season for him, but he's quite a unique player. Can play quite a lot of positions. He's one of those players where you say, where can you play Mads? Everywhere. I can play everywhere, apart from striker, actually, and goal. You can't play those two, but I think he'd actually do a job up front if we really needed to. But I mean, finishing of 6, probably best to avoid him being up there. 27 years of age, though. Can play left back, right mid, left mid. We can just name every position at this point, basically. He can play it all. Mads Pedersen came in for 3.4 million, and then we started spending some serious money. I was wrong before, about 10 million. We had given it a lot more money. A little bit further down the line, and we started spending that money straight away. Starting off with Michael Elise coming into Burnley, of course. I mentioned Crystal Palace got relegated last season, so Elise wanted to leave. 45 million later, we managed to get him into Burnley. And I mean, he's going to be playing on that right-hand side now this season. Looks really good in his game this year. Looking forward to seeing how he gets on in FM24. And speaking of the wings, we mentioned Elise on the right-hand side. Justin Clover were now coming in to play on the left-hand side, cutting inside onto that right foot. He's not bad, 25 years of age now. He's definitely really developed, of course. Had a bit of a weird career. He's been a bit here, there, everywhere the last few seasons, going from Ajax to Roma to Leipzig to Nice. He's been here all over the place right now, sort of thing. But 25 million, we've gone in and poached him from Bournemouth now in this save. We went there for 9.5 million. We've pinched him for 25 million because, of course, Bournemouth didn't survive last season, them getting down and relegated. But if you thought that was crazy for how much we spent already, it kept on going. But firstly, we had a few outgoings go out from the club. The first one being 21 million, Manuel Benson, left out at Etihad. Played in the wing last season for us. Did pretty good. We mentioned about his assists last season. Did pretty good. Bought for 3 million, 22-23 season. Goes out the club for 21 million. So nice little tidy profit there with him leaving the club. Last season got 8 goals, 4 assists. Very good season for him really in the Premier League, but now makes the switch over to Saudi Arabia, which gave us a little bit more money to spend. We'll get to that shortly. Val Veikos left the club as well for 8.25 million, of course. Been out on loan the last few seasons away from Burnley. Hoffenheim, Man United, Besiktas, but now leaves the club for 8.25 million over to West Ham United. Mellon Goodmanson leaving on free transfers, 1.9 million, and then some loan moves going out the club for Enoch Adai and Oda Burke going out on loan this season. But then it's time to start spending some more of that money. So Rob Holding comes in from Crystal Palace, being the first one, of course. Former Arsenal boy. Went to Crystal Palace here for 1 million, and now 7.5 million makes the switch now back to the Premier League, joining Burnley. Regular centre-back could definitely be a starter for us during this save as well. I'm quite hopeful he can be one of our starters going forward for the next few seasons. 28 years of age now, but he still looks really good physically as well. Good mentals as well on him. So he's a good player, Holding, just didn't really suit out Arsenal for him. Samu being the next one, coming in for Valencia. It's an interesting one, 20 years of age, Portuguese lad. Never been capped for the national team, of course, by Portugal, but looks really good in that midfield role. A high work rate, good positioning, good teamwork. A lot of things to like about him defensively and attacking-wise from that midfield. But we then went back to Portugal for another midfielder, this time getting Guga in. He comes in now from Rio Ave on a free transfer. And again, for a free transfer, he looks very complete, to be fair. Mentally, looks really good. Some good physicals on there as well. Decent tackling, passing range of 14 and 13, technique of 14 as well. Crossing, dribbling, corners, all there 13. He's got some good set pieces on this guy as well. Looks pretty well rounded. 27 years of age, can come in and be a good backup midfielder this season, going in to season number 2. Max Lowe then from Sheffield United came on a free transfer course. Sheffield United went down and got relegated last season. Max Lowe is available on a free transfer. Can definitely be a very good left back for us going into this new season. Mike Tressor came in from Genk for 15.5 million. This is the big one now. Another winger as well. You're probably wondering, why not have we bought another winger in? But he comes in now with a bit of interest already from Hull and Middlesbrough. Wanted to loan him this season, but I do feel like he can be our rotational player from the bench this season. We've mentioned the likes of Elise and Clive coming in for the wings this season, but Tressor can come in now as that backup winger for us this season and be really impactful from the bench. And the last one, we mentioned him briefly earlier on from that Athletic Madrid game. Gift Orban joins now Burnley. He came in for 27.5 million from Ghent. Went over 2.6 million, so they've made a massive profit on this guy now. And he comes in now to be our new number 9 going into the brand new season. A goal machine in Gift Orban. I've used him in 23. He was really, really good in our Ren save there. And now we bring him over to Burnley for FM24. I mean, attribute-wise, he stands out straight away. Physicals are really good. Some 15s, 16s across the board there. 5'9" striker is a little bit smaller than what I like normally. But with that first touch, finishing and dribbling all at 16 and 15 straight away. Technique at 15 as well. Some good mentals in there. Good bit of flair as well. Off the ball's pretty good. Composure's pretty good. He looks like a really solid striker and hopefully be our main guy for the next few seasons. 22 years of age now. One Nigeria cap. He's definitely going to develop into a real game changer for this Burnley side. But going into the brand new season now, this is how we're lining up now with this Burnley side using the FM Ultimate NK7433. Orban leads the line, Elise and Clover on the wing. Samu comes in the midfield down to join Burgeon there. Cullen as the regista had a pretty decent season last season in that role. We'll not be keeping him there for the entire season, I'm not too sure yet. But the high work rate, the good marking and tackling ability, the defensive options, with the dribbling of 12 as well, isn't too bad. Passing of 15. He's a very unique midfielder, and I do quite like him in this game so far. So maybe Cullen will stay in that role this season. Holding comes into the defence now, of course, as well. But some of the new defenders aren't breaking through just yet. Like a Gugu in midfield as well. A good rotation players to have in this team. Going now into season number 2. Season number 2 aims, I want to try and get us in the top half, finish top 10 for season number 2. Let's see now how we've gotten on during that season. So we are back then at the end of season number 2, and it didn't really go to plan. We mentioned about my top half finish for this new season. We came 15th in the Premier League. We'll come to that in just a moment. We'll start there for the Carabao Cup, where we did get as far as the semi-finals, losing out to Aston Villa in the semi-final where Tottenham beat Man City. And it went to a final between Aston Villa and Tottenham as always, they managed to bottle it, and Aston Villa win a trophy. As a Blues fan, I will never hear the end of it. But yeah, Gift Orban got 6 goals during the competition though. So Gift Orban had a very good showing. But again, only getting to the semi-finals. And then the FA Cup, again, 4th round defeat. This time losing the Championship side, Sheffield United. We stole some of their players and then they knocked us out the FA Cup. So not a great showing, again, from Burnley in the Cup. But the big upset was the Premier League season. It went really badly this season. Not going nowhere near as well as we planned it to. You see now Burnley coming 15th in the league this season. After 38 games, winning 11, drawing 9 and losing 18 games this season. Conceded 6-7 goals, conceded quite a lot of goals, but scoring 51, that was enough to see us fight on for another day with Birmingham City, Wolves and Luton Town all getting relegated this season. We were kind of safe, really. 42 points, 34 points. We were enough away from it. But again, not good enough showing from Burnley, and we need to do much better now going into season number 3. But where it wasn't the best of seasons, we saw some really good showings from some new players, of course. Gift Orban getting 16 goals and 5 assists here in 42 appearances. Michael Elise, he's wanted now for him, moving, of course, that poor performance last season. I can see why some big clubs do want to poach him. And with 13 goals and 10 assists, I am not surprised clubs want him. Justin Clover as well on the other wing as well, getting 12 goals and 7 assists. That front three did really well, but we're just conceding far too many goals. I think some changing will be needed in that back line going into this summer window. So going into this summer window now, you can see we've got 22 million to spend right now, but we're already over our wage budget. That does need adjusting. So we're going to see what we can do with Burnley, see how we can adjust this money, see if we can bring in, hopefully, a better chance going now into season number 3. So we're back now at the start of season number 3. We're August 10th for it now, and we've got some transfers that happened before the July 1st cut off and before it turned over. So we'll start now prior to July 1st. Going now, of course, we bought in the likes of Orban, Trenser and Low last season. We then got Miguel Aguiz coming in on a free transfer from Arsenal at the end of that season. Not a bad player, really. Can be a backup player for us, 22 years of age. Could probably still develop quite nicely in the game, but looks pretty darn decent. Value quite high as well, between 11 and 16 million already. Of course, being an English player, that's normally the case, that high valuation of English Premier League talent. So hopefully, straight away, could even maybe make a little bit of money on that guy in a few years' time. Tommy Doyle coming in there from Manchester City for only 125k was an absolute steal. Very good rotational player, 23 years of age now. Could probably still develop a little bit more, but probably past the season of really developing now and becoming a first-team player. But again, overall, mentally really good, physically really good. Technically, there's some good technicals in there. The first touch of 13, free kicks of 13, passing of 14. Still a very good player we got there in Tommy Doyle. Moving down the list then, Daniel Everson came in from Leicester for 10k. He needed a backup goalkeeper. Everson does that. He's a good enough backup goalkeeper to sit on the bench and just cover for Trafford or Muric next season, depending on who's going to be starting for us. We haven't really decided yet who's going to be that starter in goal next season. Valentin Gomez was the next one then for 18.75 million. It's a big transfer, of course. From Velez to Arsenal, to Luton for 8 million. And now we've paid just over 18 million for Valentin Gomez to come in now at our new centre-back. Probably going to be a left-back option more likely, though. We just say like he's preferred to be a centre-back, but I do feel like at 5'11", probably better in that left back position. Good dribbling, good acceleration, a good first touch about him, marking, passing. He's very good. He'd definitely be a left back going into this brand new season. And then the other one, then we went to Tottenham Hotspur for 7.5 million and took Tanganga, someone who's been around the team now for a while. Spurs never really broke through and been that starter, but at 26 years of age, he'd definitely be a useful player in our defence going into this brand new season. But July 1st ticked over. We didn't really get no big sales. The likes of Dara O'Shea leaving Crystal Palace 500k, Jack Cook going to Hull on a free transfer. But we did 2 more free transfers. In Nicholas Towler coming in from Mainz first, a good utility player, can play CDM, can play centre back, can play a few different roles. Good, useful player there to be as a backup this season. Michael Keane coming on a free transfer as well. Formerly of Everton, formerly of Burnley, of course, all those years ago. Went to Everton, got released by Everton now in the year 25, and now he comes back to Burnley as a free transfer this season. And then the big one, we went and got another striker. You're probably thinking, Gift Obama's doing so well for you. Why are you getting another striker in? That was a bit of interesting gift, and we thought we better get someone else just in case he does go. So Skamaka makes his opportunity now come back now to the Premier League course. Formerly of West Ham, didn't work out for him over there. Went to Atalanta for 24 million. Now for 53 million, makes the switch now back to the Premier League at 26 years of age. He looks an incredible striker, of course. So hopefully we can keep him happy. I mean, we already broke his promise about the squad number he wanted already. So we need to fix that and hopefully keep Skamaka and make him into a goal scorer here at Burnley. So ahead of that new season starting now, I do feel like defensively could probably still improve. The likes of Bayer could probably be replaced for someone a little bit better. Connor Roberts, of course, still pretty good in the game. I like the long throws as well. It's definitely helped with a lot of set pieces this season. But Valentin Gomez now comes into that left back position, of course. And we've mentioned Skamaka, our brand new striker. Gift Orban dropping to the bench. Maybe he will leave, who knows. But I mean, right now he is still wanted by Fulham, but I mean, I do feel like it's Burnley. You can probably be better than Fulham within another season or two. So we'll see if we can keep hold of him for another year. Hopefully, we can keep him happy and keep him at the club. But this is the team that lines up now for the new season, of course. Season number 3. Let's see how we get on during this season. Hopefully, we can get back to where we wanted now for a top-half finish going now into season number 3. Right, so season number 3 has come to an end. You can see now, just here, my prediction was 19th this season. We've outdone that. We actually got 9th place. We managed to get that top-half finish, top 10 in the Premier League in this season. So let's touch on that in just a short moment because there's something we need to go on to in just a moment. But first, the Carabao Cup, we got knocked out in the 4th round, this time by Manchester City. Everton went on all the way to win the competition, but Man City knocked us out on penalties in the end in that one. Carabao Cup wasn't to be, but the FA Cup was to be for Burnley. We beat Man City in the final, thanks to our Gianluca Scamacca goal, an all-important goal which sees us lift the FA Cup. A goal which will probably be the biggest goal in Burnley's lifetime. Tanganga gets the ball on the left-hand side, puts it in, Scamacca taps it home, and that goal was enough to see Burnley lift the FA Cup. But of course, the Premier League is the important one. We want to get qualifying for European football again. And of course, winning the FA Cup does get us Europa League football, which is one foot in the door now. We've got European football, but it wasn't based on our league position. But it's been an interesting season. You can see now Norwich, Fulham, Crystal Palace all going back down to the Championship. Newcastle in 16th, Tottenham in 14th as well. Some interesting teams down that bottom half of the table. But you can see now Burnley come at 9th for this season. 38 games, winning 14, drawing 13, only losing 11 this season. So we've done better, but we haven't scored many goals, though, only getting 45 goals this season. But it was enough to get us 9th place, top half finish, and the FA Cup victory means we have European football going now into season number 4. And with that European football, it does mean we've got 23 million to spend in the budget, which isn't bad really, so I'm quite happy with that. A lot of money we can spend there and hopefully improve this team and try and challenge for a European trophy. But maybe, just maybe, now in season number 4. Let's dive ahead and see how we look now going into that brand new season. So we come back now ahead of the brand new season, of course. We do have the FA Community Shield following winning the FA Cup last season against Chelsea, who won the Premier League last season as well, oddly enough. So a bit of a mixture in teams of who are actually up there right now. Chelsea versus Burnley in the Community Shield. Probably not in the Community Shield game you probably ever thought you'd see in your lifetimes. But yeah, how are we looking now ahead of the new season? We have 10 million left in that budget, but we did spend more than that already. We can dive into now and have a quick look at how we've been spending all that money. So, then the last season, we mentioned Scamacca. We went and got Lafont from Nantes. I'm wanting the better goalkeeper. I do feel like Alban Lafont is just that. French keeper, 27 years of age now, looks really, really good. Definitely better than the keepers we had already. We managed to move one of them on, which we'll get onto in just a short moment. Because Murridge moved to Manchester City, I want to say we get onto this in just a short moment. He made the switch to Man City for 30 million. Interestingly though, because like last few seasons, he's not done amazing really. So 30 million seems a lot of money for Man City to pay for a keeper because he did 63 goals, 52 goals and 44 goals so far during this save. But Man City wanted to pay and he's the new number 1 at Manchester City. But yeah, other transfer-wise, Lewis Miley, of course, been doing quite well at Newcastle in real life right now. He comes in for 22 million now over to Burnley here. Very good midfielder, but again, 20 years of age, can probably still develop quite nicely in this save. Got 2 more years left of this save now, and hopefully he can develop into quite a bit of midfielder for us and be good from the bench this season. The other one then, Julian Weigl comes in from Borussia Mönchengladbach, of course, formerly of Dortmund, went to Benfica for a bit, and then to Gladbach during this save as well. Been there for a while. £20 million is spent on Julian Weigl. Can play that regista role out very, very nicely. You can see some attributes on screen right now. First touch of 16, technique of 16. Mentally, he's solid. Physically, he's really, really good as well. So feeling like this could be our regista going forward for the brand new season. But in terms of outgoings, nothing else really happened. Some free transfers there, like a cheap one there from Matt Clug going to Cardiff. Didn't really play last season. But Sergio Gomez does come in now to be that new left-back option. The former Man City guy didn't get his contract renewed. Didn't really play for Man City that much. Went on loan to Valencia last season as well. Played a lot of games there. 2 assists, 6 goals there as well. But I do feel like now he can come in now and be our new left-back for the brand new season. So ahead of season number 4, of course, we have European football this season. This is how we line up now, then. In this 4-3-3 formation, Lafont goes in goal with Bayer, Tanganga, Gomez, and Gomez at the back. 2 Gomez on the left-hand side defence can get very confusing calling for those passes, you imagine. Weigl, Burge, and Gu get in the midfield with Kluivert, Elise, and Skamaka leading the line for this new season. In terms of aims this season, top half finish again would be great. Top 8 would be even nicer. Just keep pushing towards those automatic European spots now in the Premier League. I can't imagine we're going to do too much in Europe this season. Maybe like get through the group stage. We could get to quarterfinals at a push. It could be a real big push this season. But yeah, top half finish in the Premier League. Domestically, get to another semi-final would be quite nice. We'll see how we get on though as we go ahead now to the end of season number 4. So we're back for this end of season number 4. And we'll start with the first game of the season, of course, that Community Shield game versus Chelsea. We beat them on penalties. We beat Chelsea on penalties. And Burnley are now the new holders of the FA Community Shield to go alongside of that FA Cup we won last season. But in terms of the Carabao Cup this season, didn't really go very well for us. You can see now we actually got past Brighton in a 6-5 game in the 3rd round. Went to the 4th round before losing out to Arsenal 2-1 in that one. And we crashed out of the Carabao Cup. In terms of the FA Cup, the final hasn't happened yet. It's between Manchester United and Newcastle, so you can see straight away. We didn't get to the final. Quarterfinals, we didn't get to the quarterfinals. How far did we get this season? We beat Fulham in the 4th round. In the 5th round, we crashed out, losing to Norwich. Yeah, we lost to Norwich. We lost to Norwich. It wasn't a great showing from the boys. Really underperforming, going out to Norwich in the FA Cup. But going on to the Europa League, we actually won the Europa League with Burnley in a 4-1 victory, beating off Juventus. The game started with an early penalty in the 16th minute, but by that point, though, Danilo had already had a red card for Juventus in the 11th minute, which meant we had the extra man going into this game already. Vlahovic got an equaliser not long afterwards, the 27th minute mark, and then right before half-time, we didn't score 1, we scored 2 goals on the brink of half-time. Gomez found Guga for this first one here, put it into that near stick, lovely goal there, and then right on the edge of half-time here, Kluivert won the ball on the left-hand side, played it through the middle for Orban, he found Elise, and Elise smashed it home. 3-1 league into half-time. What more could you ask for? A red card for Juventus right before the full-time whistle as Volga found the ball into Elise. It bounced around and Guga finally smashed it top bins. And Burnley win the Europa League with a 4-1 victory against Juventus. Which of course means Burnley are going to have Champions League football going into season number 5. Not something I thought we'd do this year. I didn't think we'd get that far in the Europa League. I mentioned previously, I don't know how far we'd get in it. Not that far and actually win the whole thing. But yes, Burnley win the Europa League, which means Champions League football next season. But in terms of the league, another 9th place finish this season, 38 games, only winning 17 games this season, drawing 7, losing 14 games this season. Not a bad finish really, again, top half finish. That's what I kind of expected for the team realistically. Top half finish would be good enough. But Champions League football is something you didn't expect now going into season number 5. In terms of the budgeting, we've only been getting 11 million so far. So hopefully a bit more money comes into the bank going down to this. But the overall balance is at minus 102 million right now. So financially, we're not looking too great here at Burnley. There are some issues, but Champions League means Champions League money, which means hopefully we can get rid of a lot of that debt. Season number 5, here we go. The Champions League comes for Burnley. And therefore, I say that Champions League football coming to Turf Moor. Right, we're back then at the start of a brand new season. This time, my prediction of 12 isn't too bad, but we're actually thinking, I think top half is going to be minimum this season, really. So we can't get any lower than top half this season. We've been doing really well. We've won some trophies now along the way with Burnley. We've won a European trophy. We've won an FA Cup. How much further can we go now going into the new season, of course? So let's dive in transfer-wise and see what we've been doing. At the end of last season, we went and got Holman McCormick. You're probably thinking, who on earth is this guy? You see now, he starts the game over Independiente Santa Fe. He's been there for quite a while now, but for 600k, we saw this guy and thought, you know what? He could be a guy going forward. He looks really good in terms of attributes as well this year. 21 years of age. Now, I don't know how much more he would develop. Of course, we need this save now. It's our final season, but as a rotation player, we thought, why not? Let's get him in. Just have a bit more of a look at him and try and promote him to you guys. Maybe a player you can try and get in your saves for quite cheap, because he looks like he could develop quite nicely if you get him a little bit earlier on within your saves. There was one outgoing, Zeki Amadou. Of course, hasn't played as much the last few seasons. He went out for 10 million to Crystal Palace. I mean, last season played 8 games, 8 before that. Of course, the new boys came in with Gift Ball, Banskamaka, and he's played less and less games every season. I do feel bad because he looked quite good in that first season, but now he made the switch over the Crystal Palace, 26 years of age. Looks really good still, but again, we had better players in those positions for us. And then, of course, we tipped over now to the new part of the season, and then some more outgoings happened. Mainly, the Cloix left to Luton for 2.3 million. We loaned Tora out to Birmingham for the season for $1 million loan fee, which is quite good for us. Bit of extra money. Vitinho left, and Kian Lafondre left for Harrogate Town on free transfers. Transfers in. Got quite interesting though. Pierre Koopmeijer came from AZ Alkmaar on a free transfer, 27 years of age now. Can play like DM role in the Regista role for us. Looks pretty solid to be fair. Probably a rotational player this season at best, but again, not bad for a free transfer. Calvin Ramsey was next in from Liverpool, another free transfer. Good option for right back this season. Probably going to start this season right back, to be fair. Like, I like Bayer and Tanganga have been decent there. Connor Roberts now, he's slowing down a little bit now in game. So I do think 24 years of age, we can promote Calvin Ramsey to be a first-team player straight away this season. Hiroki Ito was the next one, came from Newcastle on a free transfer. Didn't really play for him. He's been there for a few seasons now in game. Hasn't played really. 13, 35. He's played like, the last 2 seasons, and last season dropped off massively, didn't play. Free transfer. He comes in now as a left-back option for us now to try and rotate things around. Maybe move Sergio Gomez a little bit further up the field, but Ito comes in as another option for that left-back position. And then the last one, Thomas Souček comes on a free transfer to join that centre midfield pairing. Absolute wonderful player, of course. In real life, been at West Ham this whole time, but got loaned out in game to the Mexican League for 2 years, oddly enough, to Monterrey. I don't know why there, realistically, because he went back last season and played 30 games for West Ham. So they have been using him, but now after the free transfer, Thomas Souček joins us here at Burnley. So going to season number 5, this is how we're going to line up. Not much has really changed at this point, really, but we move Sergio Gomez now into that winger role on his left-hand side, of course. He's left-footed, very good crossing, very good dribbling ability. So I'm thinking more so, we're playing with an out-and-out winger. This guy can get some balls in the box and hopefully find Skamaka quite a lot this season. So he's playing up there now, with Ito now fitting into that left-back position in that full-back attacking role. Weigl, Guga and Burge also remains the same in the midfield, really. At least he's been really good this whole save so far, really, since he came in for us. Be consistent, 12 goals, 8 goals, 10 goals. Good assists every season. At least he's been really, really good. Now valued between 61 and 73 million. What an absolute baller of a player. Defensively, there's still some iffy bits. Roberts, will he start there this season? I don't know. Reed Tanganga, Bayer can play there as well. Ramsey, of course, we just mentioned. Probably going to put Ramsey in there. And then Bayer, centre-back option, still not 100% sure on him being there. Maybe Rob Holding probably start over him. Gomez and Ito, I'm pretty sure them two can be solid there. Gomez pretty good there last season as well. Even though he's a little bit short on what I expected, really, at 5'11". Was pretty good still at centre-back. And then Ito, like his debut this season, with Lafont starting off in goal. Last season at this Burnley Rebuild, of course, we have Champions League football. But the focus still for me is Premier League. Can we get, let's say, a top 8 finish this season? Our first one. We've been 9th so far the last few seasons. Can we get top 8 going now into our final season here with Burnley? So we come back now at the start of season number 5, and of course, winning the Europa League meant we had to play the winner of the Champions League in the UEFA Super Cup. And we took Real Madrid all the way to penalties. We came so close as well. Going 4-4 in the end. Real Madrid 4, Burnley 4, all the way to a shootout. We could have almost won the UEFA Super Cup with Burnley. Narrowly missing out on a penalty shootout in the end. What a big miss, to be fair. It's very unlucky for the lads. We could have gone all the way and won even more silverware. So onto the FA Cup, and this year we got knocked out by Wolves, a 2-1 defeat in the quarterfinals to Wolves. But quite interestingly, the final this year is quite an interesting one. It hasn't happened yet, but it's actually Sunderland versus Bolton in the FA Cup final. The no likes of Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, none of them teams are nowhere near it. It's going to be Sunderland versus Bolton in the FA Cup final. Sunderland in the Premier League at this point got relegated 19th position, and Bolton, of course, also in the Charlie Championship, getting relegated this season from the Sky Bet Championship as well. Interestingly enough, and they're going to be in the FA Cup final this season. They could actually go down and win the FA Cup, get European football, and be in the Sky Bet League One. But there was a silver lining this season as Burnley won the Carabao Cup. You see the goal now coming in. Trenzor at the bat stick, putting it home in the 43rd minute was enough to see the Carabao Cup come home to Burnley. Another trophy coming to Turf Moor. So next up, of course, was UEFA Champions League. Our first time we're getting Burnley into the UEFA Champions League. And we actually made it into the playoff group. You can see here now, in our 8 games, we had 3 victories, beating Chelsea, Galatasaray, and Dynamo Kiev. Even beating them 4-0 and 4-1. No draws, but we did lose to Bayern Munich 2-0. We lost to Milan 4-3. We lost to Dortmund 3-1. Slavia Prague 2-1, and to Monaco 1-0, which meant we had enough to get through to the knockout playoff round. We can see now we got knocked out by Nice, losing 3-2 in aggregate in the end by the French side. It wasn't enough, as Burnley crashed out of the Champions League. But we did get through to the playoff rounds, which I thought is a pretty good achievement by itself for Burnley. But onto the Premier League next, and of course my aim this season was to get top 8 finish. That was the main thing I wanted to try and get within this save, and we managed to do that just about. Burnley getting 8th position, 30 games, winning 17, drawing 9, losing 12 all season. It was enough to see us get 8th in the league, and of course means we do have European football yet again next season. Getting Europa Conference League football. Of course, actually, I'll win the Carabao Cup will definitely help towards that as well. So, European football locked in for Burnley, but that's the end of a rebuild, of course, and we managed to get Burnley to a few more trophies in this 5-year period. So, as you can see now on screen, in the year 2026, of course, we won the FA Cup and even the Community Shield in that year. We then went on to win the Europa League as well, before going to the European South American Club Challenge, whatever that was as well. We actually wouldn't have won that as well. What on earth was that? Was that like a pre-season thing? It must have been pre-season. We beat Velez in the final with goals from Doyle and Trenser. So, I mean, it's another bit of silverware. We'll take it all day long. And, of course, we won the Carabao Cup in the year 2028. We haven't done very bad for Burnley, winning quite a few trophies along the way. So, there we have it then. We took over Burnley in a 5-year rebuild here. Won them a bunch of trophies in the process, winning a European trophy, an FA Cup, and a Carabao Cup in just 5 seasons with Burnley. That is not bad. Of course, the tactic itself, it can be downloaded down below. If you want to try the tactic out, feel free to try it out. Let us know in the comment section how it works for you. If you enjoyed the tactic, of course, as well, make sure you let us know in the comment section on that video or down below right here. Get us at Twitter, get in the Discord, all the places you can always find us. But thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed the video, please make sure you are subscribing to the channel, giving the video a thumbs up, and we'll see you again for another rebuild very, very soon.